going to be teaching you the fastest and what I believe is the absolute simplest way for you to generate leads and new customers online in 2019 with no website, with no autoresponder, and with virtually zero technical skill. And the way that I'm going to do that is I'm going to be teaching you the exact three-step strategy that I've used in my business, and I'm going to be giving you a ton of real-world examples that you can use in your business as well. So that you can generate a minimum of at least 100 high-quality leads in the next 30 days so that you never have to chase people around again. You don't have to spend hours sending out cold messages, hoping people respond to you. This way you can actually attract leads that actually buy from you. And so that dealing with deadbeat leads and a bunch of rejection and resistance can hopefully become a thing of the past. And ultimately so that you can start having the freedom and the lifestyle that you probably dreamed of when you started your business in the first place. So let me just ask real quickly, how many of you guys would like that? How many of you here on webinars, is this actually going to be worth my time? Is it just going to be one of those fluff and pitch webinars where you don't give me anything actionable? And no, that's not the case at all. In fact, Denise actually attended this exact same webinar recently, and here's what she said. She said, Tyson, thanks for all of your knowledge and your time and giving this all away to us. This is actually the coolest thing I've ever seen, and I've attended probably 20 webinars in the last 3 months. Brooke attended this exact same webinar, and she said, this is really blowing my mind. I have taken many webinars on attract technical knowledge. If I could help you achieve those things, if I could deliver on those promises, like I did for Denise and for Brooke and for Brenda, would you say that your time had been well spent here today? If that's the case, give me a Y or a yes in the comment box. I'm seeing that would feel great. Awesome, Amy says, that's great. So now I do want to address one more thing before we get started and start diving into the content here. I know there's a lot of people here that are like, Tyson, I'm here because I'll give it a shot, but give you my free Facebook lead generation template. Now, you remember Brenda from just a moment ago? This was the exact template that she used to start attracting leads for her business online. And she, as she told you, she got leads in a matter of, hours and then 5 to 6 new leads overnight. I'm going to give you this template when you stick around until the end, and I'll give you a video with lots of examples of how to use it in your business. So if that sounds good to you, if you're excited about this training, I want you to take a minute and eliminate all distractions. All right, maybe don't tape your kids to the wall. That would be weird. Like that, I stopped looking for leads and I started looking for conversations. And let me explain what I mean by this, okay? So I used to think when I first went online, I thought, okay, it's all a numbers game. If I can just get enough clicks to my website, certainly some of them will buy. If I could just get enough eyeballs on a presentation, certainly they'll buy. And to me, a lead was just a number. It was how many clicks could I get to my website or how many eyeballs could I get in front of a presentation. But once I started realizing these are real people who have real reasons why they might look at my presentation. They've got conversations going on in their mind. And I started thinking, not how can I talk to them about my thing? How can I get them to be a lead interested in my thing? I started thinking, how can I start getting them to reach out to me to have conversations about the things that they're genuinely interested in. And really, and that's a big part of what I'm going to show you how to do on this free webinar. And I have good news for you, okay? I'm going to give you kind of the bird's eye view in a second of how this strategy works. When I first started in 2013, it was way more complicated to try and get people to reach out to you, okay? The easiest, most non-technical way that you have available to you right now to get conversation started with new prospects is Facebook Messenger. And that is a large part of the tactical stuff that we're going to be talking about on this very webinar. In fact, let me just give you kind of a bird's eye view of how this looks, okay? In a minute, we'll get down to the ground level and I'll dive into exactly the how-tos and the whatnots and all of that stuff. But this is me jumping off of the Sky Jump building in Las Vegas. And it's amazing when you're that high up, the clarity that you have. Well, I want to give you a little bit of that clarity right now by showing you just kind of a bird's eye view. You're not going to totally understand it, but this will give you a kind of an overall view of what I do. So I'll post something like this on Facebook. Now, I'll get into this later, but notice this post has nothing to do with my product, okay? We'll talk about that in a bit, but they never have to leave Facebook, and I can get them right into my messenger reaching out to me to become a lead. Now, you might be wondering, Tyson, why are you defining somebody who reaches out to you in Messenger? Why is that a lead? Well, it's because I define a lead with 3 important criteria. A lead is, number one, someone who knows what I have to offer them in terms of how I can help them. Number two, they have raised their hand and indicated an interest, like they want more information. And number three, they have, most importantly, they have given me permission to communicate with them further. Somebody who sees my post on Facebook like this. Now, this doesn't have to be just done on Facebook. I get people from YouTube reaching out to me in Facebook Messenger. The communication platform is Messenger, but does that mean you have to only market on Facebook? No. You could get people from LinkedIn into your Facebook Messenger. You get people from YouTube into your Facebook Messenger. The point is, I never had to set up a website. I never had to set up a capture page, never had to have an email autoresponder. And these messages here can even be sent on autopilot with what are called messenger bots. We'll be talking about that a little bit as well. Now, don't get freaked out if you don't like messenger bots, okay? If you're like, no, I don't like bots. They're too non-personal. I want something that I want to manually talk to everybody in my business all day long. Hey, if that's what you want to do, that's cool. I'm not knocking it. And I'll show you how to do it if you want to do it manually, but I use bots, and we'll talk about that a little bit as well. Now, you're going to be really amazed by this. I have been building an email list since 2013. I have about 25,000 people on that list. I sent out this email to my email list. I sent out the exact same message in Facebook Messenger. You want to see the stats? The difference in stats between how many people opened and clicked on the email message versus the messenger message. Now, this is really going to get you excited. Oh, by the way, let's think real quickly before I show you the stats about all of the technical stuff that had to go into this email message. Think about this for a minute. I had to set up a capture page with code to talk to an autoresponder just to get them on my email list. Then for writing this email, well, I'm sending them 2 videos. So I had to upload those videos to like a hosting service like, Vimeo. I then had to embed some code on a page. So I had to build 2 more pages to send these people to. With Messenger, they could literally tap a button and I could send it right inside a Messenger. Like, guys, if you have enough email knowledge to click that little paperclip icon to attach, an attachment to an email, then you can use Messenger to communicate with your leads. You could send them a presentation, a PDF document. They never have to leave Facebook Messenger. And so the stats are what's really exciting to me. Now, I don't think email is dead. I still use it, but man, look at these stats. I sent this out to almost 25,000 people, received that email message. Only 13% of them actually opened the message, and 1.2% of them clicked on a link. Now look at the stats for the exact same message that I sent in Messenger. I only delivered it to 2,000 people in Messenger because I have a much smaller list. I haven't been building that list as long. So I sent it out to a list that's less than a tenth of the size. But it was opened by 73% of people, and over 17% clicked instead of just 1.2. In other words, I got 17 times more engagement. If anybody's excited about getting that kind of engagement, I want you to give me a yes in the comment box. And if you're excited about doing it without any technical setup whatsoever, get ready, because I'm going to show you the ins and outs of exactly how to implement this 3-step strategy with Messenger in your business. The good news is you literally need nothing more to get leads in Facebook Messenger reaching out to you than a free Facebook account. And of course, it'd be good if you had a simple strategy to actually get people to want to start conversations with you. And that's what we're going to talk about right now. Now, I should tell you, if you've ever heard me teach this 3-step strategy before, I've taught it a lot to people in my business. So you may have heard me teach this before, but I'm going to teach it in a very specific way on this webinar. I'm going to teach it to you specifically how it relates to Messenger, and I'll be giving you lots of examples of how to get people into Messenger. And by the way, I will answer questions at the end of this, so if you have any questions, hold off. I may be answering them during the webinar, and if I don't, just stick around. I will answer your questions when we get to the end of this webinar, okay? So my simple 3-step formula is target, attract and cultivate, convert. Now, let me go through each one like an overview, and then we'll dive into how to do each step. So let's talk about why targeting the right people is important. The biggest reason I struggled in my business was because I was targeting everybody. I thought everybody should be a good fit for my product. Like, at one point I was in a health and wellness thing, and I thought, well, everybody wants to be healthier, or everybody wants to make more money. So I'll just target everybody. And it is true that maybe everybody wants to lose more weight, but not everybody has the desire right now to do it. Not everybody is looking for it right now. And what I found myself doing was I was trying to build desire in a place where it didn't exist. And I am telling you, that is one of the hardest things for you to ever do. If you've ever tried to create desire in someone who doesn't have it, it's next to impossible. But when you can find people who already have a pre-existing desire for what you offer, my friends, the battle is half won. And I'm going to show you who my favorite 3 groups are, exactly how to find them, and what to say to attract them to you, which brings me to step 2, attracting and cultivate. So let's talk about these separately, even though we do them in a single step. The reason why it's important that we attract people to us is because when we approach other people, they have the power. We have less power when we're the ones. It's almost like we're asking for a favor. But when someone is attracted to us and they're asking us for more information, we have all the positioning and the power in that relationship. Now, cultivate is important because people buy, we've heard it all before, from others they know, like, and trust. So if we can get someone to trust us long before we ever try to convert them into sales, our job is 1,000 times easier. So I will tell you this. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on conversion tonight, because if you guys can just get step 1 and 2 correct, step number 3 is like so much easier to do. Okay. So let's do this. Let's dive into each one of these groups at a very ground level so that you guys know exactly who to target and how to attract them to you. Does that sound good? So let's start with who my favorite 3 groups of people are to target in my business. Okay. Oops, hold on. All right, here we go. So my favorite 3 groups of people to target in my business are, number 1, it would be people who are searching for my thing. Now, let me explain what I mean by this. They could be searching for your thing by its actual name, but that's a really small group of people. So there's a little bit larger group I'll tell you about in a second. But let's say you were promoting some sort of fitness program like, I don't know, Beachbody, like P90X, okay? So you could say, okay, I want to target everybody who is actively online right now searching for P90X reviews, right? Or what's the best weight loss program between P90X and CrossFit? Okay, those are people who are really targeted. They have great desire because they're looking for a fitness program right now. But the number of people who are actively searching for your thing by its name might be really small. So the other example of this is people who are searching for your thing by the category, right? So they might just be saying, what's the best type of diet to lose weight? They're not looking for a specific diet, just, you know, they're in general, they're looking for how to lose weight. If they're searching for, you know, that specifically, that is a great person who already has the desire. And we'll talk more if you're not sure how to find these people or how to attract them, just kind of don't get a step ahead of me. We're going to get to all of that. Group number 2 that I love to target are people who have a history of buying my thing in the past. Now, this can fall into 2 categories. They can be what I call chronic buyers, or they can be passion buyers. Let me explain what each one is. The weight loss market is a great example of chronic buyers, right? Somebody who wants to achieve a result, but they haven't yet quite figured it out. They haven't yet achieved the thing. A lot of times they will keep buying new things. People in the weight loss market will keep trying new diets, new weight loss programs, new pills and potions and shakes because they thought the last shake didn't work for them. So they try a new shake until eventually they hope that they'll finally solve the problem. So if somebody hasn't yet solved their weight loss issue, if that was what I'm just using that as an example, and you know, they've bought weight loss things in the past, there's a good chance they're probably going to buy again in the future until they solve that problem or reach their goal. But the other group is passion buyers. I get a lot of people on this webinar that say, but Tyson, you know, what if I don't solve a problem, right? Well, you might be in a passion market, right? Like golfers. Like my dad, I told you, loves to golf. And so my dad, for the rest of his life, will just keep buying golf stuff because it helps him to extract more joy out of the thing he already loves and is passionate about. So, you know, if you target people who have a history of buying your thing, there's a good chance that they're probably going to buy again, depending on your business, right? Now, in my wedding photography business, unless I'm targeting like, hey, have you had a divorce recently? That's probably not going to work, right? Like, hey, have you gotten married recently? You want to buy more wedding photography? But if they bought wedding photography, I might target them for baby photography, right? One day when they have children, because they've shown that they love professional portraits. That's an example of how I might use it in my photography business. My final and third favorite group are people who have a problem that your thing can solve. Now, this is the biggest group and the group I've built my business on primarily, right? So for example, if you had a skin cream, instead of talking about your skin cream, what problem does your skin cream solve? You could talk about instead. That's the conversation that's going on in your prospect's mind. So you might say, hey, have you ever wondered how to get rid of your acne? Well, you talk to them about their acne before you would ever talk to them about your skin cream. In fact, the proof that this works is that you're on this webinar right now. Okay, how did I attract you here? Most of you were attracted to me because you're in group 3. Okay, I said, hey, are you struggling to get leads for your business? Do you not have enough people to talk to? Are you sick of chasing family members and friends? Do you have people that aren't buying from you? You're like, yeah, check, check, check. I have all of those problems. I think I'll show up because this guy could possibly solve my problem. So I targeted you not based on what product I was promoting or what I'm going to offer you at the end of this webinar. I targeted you based on a problem that I knew would attract you to me. Now, the next question I know you're probably wondering is, well, that's great, Tyson, but how do I actually find these people? Where are they at online? Okay, I'm going to make this real easy for you. I learned the concept of congregations from Russell Brunson. Maybe you've heard him talk about it. The idea of congregations is that people with similar problems or similar demographics or similar interests, they usually congregate together. And I'll give you a great example an offline example. When I was a music teacher, every year, all of the music teachers across the entire state of Missouri would congregate together at a music convention in one city in one big convention hall. Well, guess what they had in the basement of that convention hall? They had vendors who sold stuff to music teachers, right? They said, hey, we have fundraising stuff that music teachers would love. We have t-shirts. We have sheet music and instruments. Music teachers would love that stuff. So let's go to the place where all of our perfect eyeballs are congregated together and we'll get in front of our perfect targeted audience. Well, you can think in terms of congregations online. Ask yourself questions like this. What Facebook groups do people congregate in around similar topics? You know, there's groups on weight loss and entrepreneurship and, different software. What forums do they visit, right? There's forums on travel. There's forums on cooking. What events do these people attend where they congregate together? Are there any gurus that they follow? Any big leaders in your industry? Somebody who is like the biggest guru of like a lot of entrepreneurs might congregate around Tony Robbins. He's a big leader or guru for entrepreneurs. What tools, what software, what equipment do they use? What magazines do they read? What blogs do they visit? What YouTube channels might they watch? Are there any certain keywords that they're searching for on Google or on YouTube that they're congregating around? And so here's how I, real world, how I implement this in my business. Like in my Facebook account, I can go into Facebook and I can say, hey, Facebook, I have something that I would like to show to network marketers. So one group of people I help in my business are network marketers. So I ask myself, okay, what would be a big guru that most network marketers would know? So you'll notice right down here, I have include everybody who is interested in Eric Worre. Now, if you're not in network marketing, that's fine. This webinar will still help you, but I know that most if I had a message just for other network marketers, I know that they would know who Eric Worre is. And I would put this message only in front of the people who are interested in Eric Worre. And that's how I can find people who I know already would have a desire for what I have to offer. Even if you don't want to run Facebook ads, here's an example. You could literally do this immediately after you got off of this webinar. You could go to Facebook and just type in weight loss groups, and you're going to find thousands of weight loss groups if that was what you're in. You could type in travel groups, and you could go join a bunch of travel groups. You could type in groups for entrepreneurs or groups for CEOs of big companies. I mean, I'm sure there's groups for everything, and not just on Facebook. Again, there's groups on LinkedIn as well. There's probably groups on Twitter and lots of other social media networks, right? There's YouTube channels around these topics also. And so you just start asking yourself, where would these people congregate around and hang out? And then you go hang out where those people are at. Now, I got to give you a word of caution. If you go into these Facebook groups and you're like, all right, now I'm ready to go, everybody. I've got my whiz-bang weight loss shake and I just joined 1,000 Facebook groups. So, hey, everybody, I'm here in the group. Let me show you my link and everybody go sign up for my thing. Guys, if you do that, you will get kicked out of the Facebook group as fast as you joined it, right? So the question you might be asking now is, Tyson, all right, that's cool, but how would I actually attract these people to me? How do I do step 2, which is attract them to me and help them to build trust? Well, if you haven't figured it out, It's not by talking all about your product and spamming your link all over the Facebook groups. That's the fastest way to destroy trust, right? Now, for anybody here who is saying, Tyson, I'm still not connecting the dots. I still don't see how this is actually going to work for my business. Get ready. Get ready. All the dots are going to connect right here. I'm going to tell you 5 questions you can ask yourself right now that I guarantee you, if you don't come up with a way that this would work for your business on this slide, then I just don't think you're creative enough. You're not thinking hard enough, okay? Now, before I tell you what those 5 questions are, I have to ask you to answer this question for me honestly. Would you please answer this in the box, and then I'll tell you what the 5 questions are that will help you to attract people to you. Are you on this webinar because you are genuinely interested in helping other people, whether it's helping them solve a problem, reach a goal in their life, extract more passion? Are you just here because you're like, Tyson, man, I just want to sell more stuff, dude. Just show me a cool ninja tool that'll spam my link into all those Facebook groups so people will just auto-magically sign up for my deal. Guys, I'm telling you, if that's what you're looking for, I cannot help you, and you should leave the webinar right now and stop wasting your time and mine. But if you are here because you genuinely are interested in helping other people, then yes, everything I'm about to show you, get ready to get excited. I'm seeing yeses all over the board. Brady, Mia, Terry, Harvey, thank you. You bet, says Beth. Awesome. Okay, so now that we're all on the same page, let's go to the next slide. And I'm going to tell you the 5 questions in a minute, but this right here might be something you want to write down. This is my number 1 golden rule in my business. Everything I do revolves around this one thing. You ready? I always lead with value instead of leading with information about my product or my service or my opportunity. Okay? I will explain what I mean. Okay? Guys, this is one of the biggest differences between amateurs and top earners, right? And you might be guilty of this. If you are, don't feel bad. Probably no one's ever told you otherwise. I'm getting ready to now. So knowledge, as G.I. Joe would say, knowledge is half the battle. Is that what he says? All right. So my secret, guys, is this. So here's let's talk about what amateurs do. Everything about the way the amateur promotes his or her business, it's all product centric or it's company centric. It's all centered around, look at my thing. Right? The amateur says, look at my weight loss product. Look at my shake. Look at my ground floor opportunity. Look at my company, how long we've been in business, right? It's all company or product centric. Everything about the way a top earner promotes, the real way marketing works and the real way people are attracted to you, it's all customer centric. It's what is my customer interested in? What is the conversation? Hey, there's that word again. What is the conversation that's going on in my prospect's mind that I could talk to them about before I ever introduce my product? The thing I'm interested in, right? You guys realize when you go out and you say, hey, look at my great product, you guys realize that's selfish, right? Look at my product. Look at me. Look at my thing. When you say, hey, what are you interested in? What problem are you interested in solving? You know, how can I help you? That is the way value is provided to other people. Now, you want to know how to create that value? Here are the 5 questions that you can ask yourself right now, and I'll give you a ton of examples on this slide. Question number 1, ask yourself this. Do my prospects ever ask any questions right before they would make a buying decision? Because if you answer that question for free and it's weighing on their mind, that will attract them to you. I'll give you an example. Let's say that you were in a travel club, as an example, and you said, well, I want to attract people who love to travel and want to go on vacations and save money with my travel club. Well, what kind of question might someone ask right before they go on a vacation? I know what I do. I usually go to Google and I say things like, what are some of the best family vacation destinations for, families with young children? Now, if you answered that question, that would attract the kind of person who loves to travel and is probably getting ready to make a buying decision in travel right now, right? Or if you were, let's say, in financial services, right? And you said, maybe somebody is asking, I wonder if I'm on track for retirement, right? Or they're asking, gosh, I wonder where the best place is to put my money. Should I put it in the stock market? Or, should I put it in like an IRA? What's the best place to store my money? If you can answer those questions,